The human diplomat stepped off the small shuttle, his boots touching the shiny floor of the Galaxy Council station. A massive structure floating above a bright, mysterious planet. The station was enormous, with towers reaching high and energy lights glowing in patterns that humans had never seen before. The diplomat looked around calmly, his eyes scanning the crowd of alien delegates who had gathered in the main hall. The council members were tall, thin, and covered in scales and feathers, with eyes that glowed like gemstones. They whispered among themselves, watching the human closely. Some of them snorted and shook their heads, clearly thinking that a human was weak and unimportant. "Why send a human?" one of the reptilian councillors hissed. "They are small, fragile, and primitive." The diplomat raised his head slightly and spoke in a calm, firm voice. "I come to deliver a message of peace from Earth. We mean no harm, but we are here to be heard." The aliens stared at him, unsure if they should laugh or attack. A tall, armored alien with 4 arms and a glowing crown stepped forward. "We will see if you are worthy of our attention," he said, his voice like thunder. "You will face the council's test." The diplomat bowed slightly, showing respect, but inside, his mind was alert and sharp. He knew that humans had survived worse than any council test. His heart beat steadily, but there was a hidden power in him, something the aliens could not see yet. The hall doors opened, revealing a large chamber filled with holographic maps and strange machines. The council motioned him inside, and the human stepped forward without fear. As he walked, he noticed alien guards with weapons that seemed to hum with energy. He ignored them, focusing on the task ahead. The council members spoke in unison. "Human, we will test your strength, your mind, and your spirit. Fail, and you will leave this station in pieces." A murmur went through the hall, some aliens eager to see the human fail, others curious about what he might do. The human nodded slowly. "I accept your test. I am ready to prove that humans can be more than you expect." There was a pause. Then a council member with silver wings leaned forward. "Many have tried, and all have failed. You are only a human. What makes you think you can succeed?" The human smiled faintly. "Perhaps because you have never met a human like me." The council members exchanged uneasy glances. Something about his calm confidence made them uncomfortable. The air in the hall grew tense, the lights flickered slightly, and a low hum of energy filled the chamber. The human walked to the center, his eyes scanning every corner, noticing small details that even the council members overlooked. Suddenly, an alarm sounded, and some council members stepped back. "He notices everything too quickly," whispered one alien to another. The diplomat stayed still, unafraid, his presence commanding without words. The council realized that this human was not ordinary, but they did not know the full extent of his abilities. The chamber doors closed behind him with a soft hiss, and the council spoke together. "The test begins now." The human took a deep breath, ready to face whatever they would throw at him. He did not know what they expected, but he was prepared for more than they could imagine. As he stepped forward, the lights dimmed, and the shadow of his presence seemed larger than life, leaving the aliens unsure, uneasy, and intrigued. This was the moment the Galaxy Council would remember. The human diplomat had arrived, calm, confident, and hiding a power they could not yet understand. The first test was about to begin, and the fate of human reputation in the galaxy hung in the balance. The council chamber buzzed with tension as the human diplomat stood at the center, his eyes calm, yet alert. The alien delegates whispered among themselves, their scales and feathers shimmering under the strange lights. "Let us see if he truly deserves to represent humans," said the tall armored alien with 4 arms, his voice echoing through the hall. The first test was one of intelligence. A holographic maze appeared in the air, twisting and turning like a living thing. The human studied it carefully, his fingers tracing imaginary paths, while the council watched eagerly, expecting him to fail. Several aliens shook their heads, confident that a human could not solve such a complex challenge. But the diplomat smiled faintly, and with a few simple gestures, he manipulated the hologram. Guiding it through the twists and turns effortlessly, the maze shifted and changed, trying to confuse him. But the human remained focused, his mind worked faster than any alien could predict, and he completed the challenge with ease, leaving the council members shocked and whispering among themselves. The second test was physical. A platform rose into the air, suspended over a pit of glowing energy. The human had to jump from one moving platform to another, while alien sentinels shot beams of light to try to knock him down. Many aliens snickered, believing this would be the moment he failed. The human leapt with grace, dodging the beams with precise timing, landing safely on each platform. His movements were smooth, almost as if he had danced through the challenge rather than fought it. The council members leaned forward, their eyes wide. "This human, he is faster than we imagined," muttered a silver-winged alien, disbelief in their voice. The third test was the hardest, a test of strategy and courage. The human was placed in a chamber filled with illusions. Some showed terrifying monsters, others showed the council's own members threatening him. The illusions were designed to break his mind, to make him panic, but the human stayed calm, walking through each vision without fear. His presence seemed to push the illusions away, weakening them. A counselor hissed, "He feels no fear, not even when confronted by our strongest illusions." The human finally reached the center of the chamber, where a glowing orb awaited him. It was a test of spirit, the alien said, and the human touched it gently, closing his eyes for a moment. A wave of energy pulsed through the chamber, and the council stepped back, surprised. The orb's glow did not harm him. Instead, it seemed to respond to his presence, expanding around him like it recognized something. The diplomat opened his eyes, calm and confident. "I have passed your test, not by strength alone, but by staying true to myself," he said. The council murmured in shock, unable to hide their astonishment. "No human has ever done this before." One alien whispered to another, "He is unlike anything we have seen." The human smiled faintly, his calm confidence unnerving them further, yet he still hid the deepest part of his power, something far more fearsome than they could imagine. Some council members began to plot, whispering about striking him down before he could reveal his full abilities. Others were curious, wondering what this human was truly capable of. The air in the chamber was heavy with tension, and even the armored leader seemed uncertain for the first time. The diplomat straightened, ready for whatever would come next. "I am here to prove that humans deserve a place among you," he said, his voice steady, carrying a quiet power that the council could sense but not fully understand. The first part of his journey through the council's tests was over, but the real challenge, the revelation of his true form, was still ahead, leaving everyone on edge. The human diplomat had passed the council's initial tests with ease, yet a shadow of distrust lingered in the air. Some council members could not accept that a human could be so clever, so composed. They whispered to one another, plotting to test him in a more dangerous way. Without warning, the chamber lights dimmed, and alarms blared. A hidden group of council guards, armed with energy weapons, stepped forward, surrounding the diplomat. "He must be stopped before he exposes the truth of humans," hissed a reptilian counselor, his eyes glowing with anger. The human raised a hand, calm and unafraid. His eyes scanned the attackers, noting their positions, the angles of their weapons, and the patterns of their movement. He moved with surprising speed, dodging energy blasts as if they were slow raindrops. The guards fired again, but the diplomat's movements were precise, almost like a dance, leaving them struggling to hit him. One alien tried to strike him directly with a glowing blade, but the diplomat sidestepped smoothly, sending the attacker stumbling. The council members watched in shock, whispering frantically, "He moves like he knows exactly what will happen," said a silver-winged alien, disbelief in their voice. The chamber echoed with the sound of energy weapons and alarms. The human seemed to anticipate every attack, his calm presence unnerving the attackers. Some guards were knocked aside without harm. Others were forced to retreat as he blocked their paths. His power was subtle but undeniable, and the council could not understand it. As the ambush continued, the diplomat moved toward the center of the chamber, where the council's energy core pulsed with bright light. He knew the council was watching, trying to intimidate him, yet he remained focused, hiding his true strength while demonstrating that humans were not weak. Suddenly, a strange glow appeared around the diplomat, faint at first, then growing brighter. The council members gasped. Unsure of what they were seeing, the energy seemed to respond to his presence, bending around him without harming him. Some counselors whispered fearfully, "He is not what he seems. There is more to this human than we can imagine." The guards faltered, unsure how to continue their attack. The human took advantage of their confusion, moving swiftly and disarming them without using excessive force. He did not strike to kill, but every move he made showed skill, intelligence, and control far beyond what the aliens expected. The ambush had failed, and the council realized they had underestimated him completely. Their faces showed shock and fear, mixed with a growing curiosity. The human diplomat stood tall, calm and composed, yet the faint glow around him hinted at the power they had not yet seen. One of the council leaders spoke, his voice shaky, "This human, he is more than we ever imagined. What is he hiding?" The diplomat smiled faintly, a hint of something dangerous and magnificent behind his eyes. "You will see soon enough," he said. The alarms stopped, and the chamber returned to normal light, but the council could not shake the feeling that something had changed. The human had proven that he was not to be trifled with, and the seeds of fear and respect were planted in the hearts of every alien present. As the diplomat prepared for the next stage of the council's challenges, a deep sense of suspense filled the air. The council members knew that the true test, the revelation of his real, fearsome form, was coming soon, and none of them would be ready for it. The human diplomat stood in the council chamber, the echoes of the failed ambush still ringing in the hall. The alien delegates stared at him with wide eyes, their earlier confidence replaced by confusion and fear. Many whispered among themselves, unsure how a human could be so powerful. The diplomat raised his hands slightly, and a faint glow began to form around him, subtle at first, like sunlight on water. The council leaned forward, alarmed, their eyes widened as the glow grew brighter, wrapping around the human like a living force. The air seemed to vibrate with energy, and a low hum filled the chamber. A counselor hissed, "What is this? What is he doing?" The human's calm expression never wavered. His voice was soft but firm. "You have underestimated humans, thinking us weak and small, but there is more to us than you know." He stepped forward, and with each step, the glow grew stronger, swirling around him in patterns the aliens could not comprehend. Suddenly, the human's form shifted, just slightly at first. His eyes glowed brighter, and his muscles seemed to ripple with energy. The council gasped, some stepping back instinctively. "This cannot be, humans are not meant to," one alien stammered, unable to finish. The diplomat's presence seemed to fill the chamber, his calm confidence now backed by a visible power. "I am still only beginning," he said. "This is the first revelation of what humans can become when pushed beyond limits." The glow around him pulsed, and shadows on the walls seemed to move as if alive. The council members shivered, feeling a fear they had never felt before. A silver-winged counselor whispered, "He is not ordinary, he is something else," another alien muttered, I did not believe it was possible, yet here it is, before our eyes. The diplomat's form did not grow monstrous, but it radiated strength and authority, a quiet power that demanded respect. Some council members tried to strike again, still hoping to intimidate him, but the human did not move aggressively. His calm stance alone seemed to push them back, forcing them to hesitate. He did not attack, yet they felt the weight of his potential. Each of them realized that any wrong move could trigger something far worse than the earlier ambush. The diplomat spoke again. You see only a fraction of what humans can do, yet even this small display should show that we are not weak, we survive, we adapt, and we overcome. Even when the universe tries to destroy us. His words were simple, but every alien in the room felt the truth behind them. The glow began to fade slowly, returning him to a normal human appearance, but the council members were shaken. Their whispers filled the chamber, some in fear, others in awe. We misjudged them, we have been blind, said a reptilian counselor. This human is remarkable. The human diplomat bowed slightly, his calm smile unchanged. This is only the beginning, he said. Leaving a sense of suspense hanging in the chamber, the council members understood now that humans were far more dangerous, and far more fascinating than they had ever imagined. As the diplomat prepared for the next stage of his tests, a quiet tension filled the air. The council realized that what they had seen so far was just the first hint of his true power, and the thought of the full revelation sent a ripple of fear through every member present. The chamber was silent, the council members frozen in their seats, their earlier whispers of awe now replaced by tense fear. They had seen the diplomat's first revelation, but no one could have prepared for what came next. The human diplomat closed his eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. The glow returned, stronger than before. Surrounding him like a living aura, it pulsed and shimmered, bending the light in the chamber, making the walls look like they were alive. Suddenly, his body began to shift, expanding and changing in ways the aliens could barely comprehend. His eyes glowed like twin stars, and his muscles and frame seemed to radiate energy, not violent, but impossible to ignore. Some council members stumbled backward, fear etched on their faces. The diplomat's voice echoed through the chamber, calm yet commanding. You have doubted humans for too long, thinking us weak, fragile, small. I am the proof of what your judgment has missed. As he spoke, his form became taller, stronger, almost otherworldly, yet unmistakably human. His power radiated outward, and even the strongest aliens felt the pressure of it. The armored leader rose from his seat, trembling slightly. This cannot be. No human, no creature, can hold such power, he said, but the human only smiled faintly, his calm presence dominating the room. Power is not always what it seems, he said. It is the will to survive, the courage to stand, and the intelligence to act when others falter. The council gasped as he moved closer, each step radiating authority. Each member could feel the raw potential in him. A terrifying mix of strength, speed, and intelligence. Some aliens tried to raise their weapons, but their hands shook, and the weapons wavered, as if the human's aura made them hesitate. One of the winged counselors whispered, He is a human, but not anything like us, anything we have seen. The diplomat paused at the center of the chamber, letting the council absorb his full form. His aura pulsed in waves, creating shadows that danced across the walls. The aliens realized that any attack now would be suicidal. The human diplomat's voice cut through the heavy silence, calm and firm. I am not here to destroy, but to show that humans are worthy of respect. Do not mistake this display for arrogance or threat. It is the truth of our nature. The council members stared, realizing they had misjudged an entire species. Some aliens bowed, others remained frozen, fear and respect mixing in their expressions. The diplomat's aura slowly faded, returning him to a human-sized form, yet the memory of his full transformation lingered in every mind. The council understood one thing clearly: humans were a force they could not ignore. Even as he straightened, calm and composed, the council members whispered to one another, "We underestimated them. We have been blind to their potential." The diplomat's eyes scanned the room, calm and knowing, hinting at even greater secrets still hidden. The chamber remained tense, the council's hierarchy shaken. The first stage of human revelation was complete. But the diplomats knew that what they had seen so far was only a glimpse. There was more to come, and the galaxy would never see humans in the same way again. The chamber was quiet, the echoes of the human diplomat's full transformation still lingering in the minds of the council members. They could not believe what they had just witnessed. Their assumptions about humans, weak, small, primitive, had been shattered completely. The diplomat stood calmly at the center, his presence strong but not threatening. His eyes scanned the room, reading every reaction, every hesitation. Every council member realized that humans were not only powerful but intelligent and strategic as well. A sense of awe mixed with fear filled the air. The armored leader finally spoke, his voice steady but cautious. "We misjudged your species, human. You have proven far beyond our expectations that humans are not to be underestimated." The diplomat nodded slightly. "I did not come here to fight, but to show that humans can be allies, that we can coexist and contribute to the galaxy." Some council members still looked skeptical, whispering to each other, but others began to bow slightly, showing respect. Their eyes held a new understanding, a recognition that humans had a place in galactic affairs. "Your display was remarkable," one silver-winged counselor said. "We have never seen such controlled power and intelligence combined." The diplomat smiled faintly, his calm aura reassuring yet commanding. "This is only the beginning," he said. "Humans have faced countless challenges, and we have always survived. We have adapted, we have learned, and we will continue to grow stronger." The council members listened carefully, realizing the truth in his words. A few aliens approached cautiously, hoping to learn from him, to understand more about the humans they had underestimated. The diplomat welcomed their curiosity, demonstrating a human skill for diplomacy that was as impressive as his hidden powers. The council began to see that strength alone did not define humans, but courage, intelligence, and resilience did. Outside the chamber, the galaxy itself seemed to shift, in a way unseen but deeply felt. Word of the human diplomat's abilities and composure would spread quickly among the stars. Aliens from other systems would soon know that humans were a force to be reckoned with. The diplomat turned to leave the chamber, but his calm presence lingered, a reminder that humans were not merely survivors. They were innovators, thinkers, and warriors when necessary. Some council members quietly plotted, hoping to understand and perhaps control such power in the future, while others quietly respected him, realizing that humans were not enemies, but potential allies. Before he stepped out, he looked back one last time, his eyes steady, commanding, and full of unspoken strength. "Remember this day," he said softly. "Humans are not what you expected, and this is only the beginning of what we can achieve." The council could only watch in silence, the weight of his words sinking deep. As the human diplomat left the chamber, the council was forever changed, their fear, respect, and curiosity intertwined. Knowing that humans would no longer be underestimated, the galaxy had seen the first true revelation of human potential. And the story of this diplomat would be told for generations, inspiring awe, caution, and fascination wherever humans traveled. Even as the council recovered from shock, the diplomat's words left a lingering promise of more, hinting that humans held secrets far greater than anyone could imagine. The chapter had ended, but the legend of humans in the galaxy had only just begun.